is kind of written pretty large as far as I'm concerned. We have been out there. There has been a disaster. These people aren't coming here because they're desperate to go and live in Gloucestershire or in Kent. No. They're here because they've got nowhere else to go. And I think it needs to be centrally funded. I don't think you can strip councils of their money and then say, oh, by the way, you've got to stump up for these people as well. It's, you know, how can they if the money isn't there? And as Stacey so brilliantly put, if you can find money to do warfare, then surely you can find money to deal with the consequences of the actions.
Surely you'd think so, but again, going back to the Chilcot report, that was one of the biggest criticisms. They started something and they really didn't finish it properly at all. Storm, calls.
We've got Dan on line 1.
Good morning to you, Dan. What do you think about this? Should councils... Well, they've got to juggle the responsibilities of the people who are already there and, of course, a humanitarian responsibility to Syrian refugees.
Top priority should always be given to our own people in their own country. We have chronic problems of housing here in the UK. It's affecting the mental health and the physical health of our own people. We need to look after them first and foremost.
But those are people who already have, I'm going to hazard a guess here, a certain quality of life, and they are not running away from people who are desperate to kill them.
Well, the situation in Syria, for example, is they don't need to run away to come to Europe. They can be safely housed or tented in Syria and funded voluntarily by people in Europe who want to give voluntarily.
I'm not sure necessarily in Syria it would work, but certainly in neighbouring Lebanon, they've taken in millions of Syrian refugees all over the Bekaa Valley. There is a huge number of people already there, and it's some of those people that David Cameron has said we should take in. But 20,000 out of the many millions displaced, that seems a bit small, doesn't it?
We already have a large migrant population in the UK, and it doesn't come without risk.
Didn't I point out the difference between refugees and migrants, though, before, Dan? Refugees are people who simply need help.
Well,
they're not the same as migrants. They're not the same as migrants, are they?
Why doesn't Tracy Solomons take some refugees into her big house?
I would happily. I am so for taking in refugees because I think it's so bigoted to believe that we can go into a country and cause absolute destruction and then not accept the consequences and look after those people who have no other option. I mean, I can't get around the mentality that, oh, something's happening over in that country, let's attack and try and help those people. But then when we've attacked and left it in a certain vulnerable position, when they want to come for refuge, we say, no, sorry, there's too many. Where does that mentality come from?
Dan, many thanks indeed for your call, taking part today. Storm, who else have we got?
We've got Maria on line 2.
Good morning to you, Maria. What do you think?
Morning. Hi. I don't think they should be allowed to come in as well, because majority of the people that are coming in are men. And men of fighting age. Men of fighting age live in a war zone and not refugees.
How do you know they're the majority? How do you know that?
This is well documented, that majority of them have been men. Majority of them going into Germany have been men. The pictures...
I thought you said coming here. So, that's Germany. They're taking 1 million people, by the way. What about us?
Well, Germany has taken 1 million people, and look at the effect in Cologne and what has happened to those people there. Their quality of life around there has reduced. Why should the people in Europe pay for refugees coming here and their quality of life reduce and women not be able to go around? I have a daughter, and I don't want, people around here that would make me afraid for my daughter. And by the way, I am not English, so this has nothing to do with race.
Where are you from originally, Maria?
I'm African.
Whereabouts?
Nigeria.
Why did you originally leave Nigeria?
I married my husband, who is English.
OK. Many thanks indeed for your call.
We've got Peter on line 3.
Good morning to you, Peter.
Good morning. I agree with the other callers. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Peter. Carry on.
Yeah, I agree with the other callers to a point. Our country is overloaded at the moment, and there's no room for any more. I mean, we've got so many people that are without housing. How are we supposed to support these refugees that are coming in? Yes, they are refugees, but still there's a country, as an island, we can only take so many, and if we've got so many people that haven't got houses now, how can we support these refugees coming in?
But as I said before, Peter, we have a certain quality of life that is vastly superior to the situation in Syria, isn't it?
I mean, I agree with you, but why should they...
Because we have an obligation.
...over people who haven't got houses now in this country?
No one...
But here's the thing, Peter. You don't just sort out one problem before you sort out the next. These are things that could be sorted out simultaneously if there is the desire there. And regardless of your own personal politics, surely what British people pride themselves on most is tolerance, isn't it?
Well, isn't that what's causing problems at the moment? If we ask most people in Britain, I'd like to say we're going back to the Brexit now. I voted out because I wanted us to gain control of our borders again, so we can have a quality of life. And
but do you think voting out means we don't help the most vulnerable people?
No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is there's only a amount of people we can take into this country before it causes us problems. So where do we draw the line there? Tell me.
Peter, many thanks indeed for your call. I can't tell you the answers to that one. But coming up after the ads, have the Welsh Dragons restored pride in the UK? After England's embarrassing exit from the Euros at the hands of Iceland, Wales beat all the odds to make the semis, proving what teamwork and genuine passion, it's that word again, Murray, can do. OK, they lost to Portugal 2-0, but just getting that far when they were just proud of being in the tournament in the first place, surely that's something to celebrate. 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. We'll hear plenty of them after the break.